Good morning, guys. Inshallah, today we will continue the part that we started during the previous session, which is the natural selection. Now we enter the part of the unit which is selection. But in this part, as we said, that we have two types of selections: the natural selections and the artificial selection. The natural selection, the theory that explains the natural selection, it is the Darwin theory as we explained it during the previous session. Let's now cover in details the parts or the points that explained by Darwin. Darwin, he said that the natural selection take place by four steps. The first step is overproduction. So the living organisms exist with large amount, a huge amount of the same kind, all of them with variables or with variations between each other. So the second step, there are variations between the members of the same kind. So the first step or the first point of evolution, it is the overproduction. We have a large amount of the same kind of species which have the same niche. Do you know what's the niche? We will cover it, inshallah. But tonight, the niche is the type of life. It is the daily routine, the type of food that we eat, the habitat that we live in, the type of prey that we depend on, the type of predator that depend on us, and so on. So it's a daily routine. It's the things that we are all common in it, that we are all do at. Okay, so all of us eat, all of us drink water, all of us live in the same habitat or the same places, so we share the same need. Okay, so overproduction, large amount of products, all of these products have a different characteristics or the different adaptations or a different features. These features or these different features or different characteristics, they increase the ability of this living organism to be alive. If you think, just think that all of us identical to each other, so we can't face, or if there is a type of disease can can attack us, so all of us will die. Okay, so the variation is something very important to increase the ability to be alive, to help us to survive if there is any condition change in our environment. So the variation is something very important. Okay, so the first step it's overproduction, the second step variation, the third step according to the variation, and we are a lot, so there is a competition will take place. We will compete on the sources of food, the places at which we live in, and so on. Then the ones of us that have ability or have adaptations, which means characteristics or features that help us to survive, the ones that will survive year after another, year after another, generation after another, we will find that only characteristics or only properties that can survive, it is the only properties that exist, so the evolution take place. Okay, guys, so let's cover these parts of Darwin. Overproduction, each species produces more offsprings that can survive. Okay, variations, each individual has a unique combination of inherited traits. Okay, adaptation and inherited traits that increases an organism's changes of survive. So now they are different like this. All they have different characteristics. Each one of them can exist in different place and survive in different environment or different habitat. The other ones can be eaten by the predators because it's very easy to recognize in nature. And the other ones that fit with the environment so they can survive. So why variations is important, as we said, the more variations within the species, the more likely it will survive. As we said, if there is any disease, so all of us will die. So if there is a variations, we can survive. Now, Individuals, the third step, as we said, it's a competition. They will compete on the food, the sources of food, water, space, mate, and so on. So the ones that fit with the nature, they are the ones that can survive, and the selection take place. The selection, it always covered the phenotype, not the genotype. تمام. The phenotype means the appearance. Here in this example, he said that the prey can be seen easily by the predator according to the phenotype. The predator, it never see the genotype. It can't see the genetic informations of the prey. He just can recognize the shape of the prey. So the natural selection, it's act on the phenotype, not a genotype. Okay, guys. Okay. So individuals with the traits that are not well suited to the environment, they are either die or let use offsprings and so on. Evolution occurs when good traits build up in a population over many generations. Many generations means many offsprings, grandfather and grandmother, parents, sons and daughters, and so on. That's all. A conclusion that made by the Darwin, all organisms are involved in a struggle for survival. Some individuals are better adapted to their environments than the others, so they are the ones that can survive. This is the major idea of the Darwin. Right. Why at the beginning they refused the idea of Darwin? Because Darwin depend on the fossils, the fossil record. When he studied the fossils during the previous session, as we said, he studied the fossils during the voyage, the 5 years trip that covered by Darwin. He found that the origin or the existing species, it's some of them like the extinct species. So according to the fossil record, and that make a very bad impression in the religion view, because the religion view or the religion people, he thought that our God, he make all of the living things over the earth service once at the same time. So we are not from the apes, as Darwin said, and so on. So it's very bad thing. The second thing, that there is no enough evidence with Darwin to explain his idea. The third thing, the inherited traits and the acquired traits and the passage of genes, they discovered it after Darwin, about 50 years. So it was something very bad. Okay. Now, for example, if we have in figure A, so which moth can be recognized by the bird? If you take a look, you will find that you have two moths, the dark one and the speckled one, or the one with a lot of dots over the wings. So the one that easy be recognized, so it's the dark one, so it's easy to be hunt and extinct. The second one, the lighter one, it's easier to be recognized. Okay, guys. So side with the common distance and so on. So all of that, there are types of camouflage and types of variations which help the living things to survive. That's all till now. And thank you, guys. Bye, guys.